I read a lot of case studies. I realise that makes me sound like the most boring man in the world, but when it's your business, you tend to read a lot of them. So, one thing that I've been noticing a lot recently, and especially with IT case studies or technology case studies, is this obsession with one thing. So, if we think about case studies as a whole, they're structured in the basic form. What's the problem? What was the solution? And then what was the result? That's the basic form. The solution is where I see a lot of people focusing so much of their attention. Again, especially IT and tech companies. Now, it's not surprising for them because a lot of them have solution in the name of their business. So you can understand why they would lean heavily on the solution aspect of a case study. But for me, it's a massive, massive turn off. Okay. Yes, the what we did piece is important. Yeah, it is important. It's part of the story. But in some of the case studies I'm reading, it's 90% of the content. That's 90% of the entire case study that is all about the what we did element, the solution. And that naturally becomes more about us or more about you as a technology company than it does about the people that you help. Okay, so what I want to see is I want to see more people talking about the problem in a bit more detail and humanizing that problem. And then obviously having the result. So the change at the end. I'm not saying that solutions shouldn't be a part of your case study. It has to be. But it doesn't have to be quite so prominent. So I want you to have a balanced approach to your case studies. I want you to make sure that it's not just about the solution with a little bit of window dressing either side in terms of what was the problem and what was the result. Okay, so again, these stories, these case studies are success stories. And that success doesn't come from the what we did bit. That success comes from the change. That's what you're all about. That's what you're doing. That's what you're delivering. So how do you avoid spending so much of your time talking about solutions? Well, one of the things is to print it off and then use some different highlighter pens and go through it and be really, really honest with yourself and say, do you know what? That's a solution paragraph. That's a solution paragraph. And you'll actually have a color coded version at the end that will show you how much of the time you've focused on the solution. There is no magic formula for what percentage or what word count. We just need to use our common sense here and remember that the whole point of a case study is to make it relatable so that people can see, that problem's like the problem I had. Here's the solution and then there's the result. Great. So they solved that person's problem. Maybe they'll be able to solve my problem. So get the balance right. If you could do that, overnight your case studies will be better. If you've got existing case studies, do the same exercise. All it might take for you is just a little bit of a tweak, a little bit of a change to maybe take out some of the solution elements and have more about the problem and the result. Hopefully that's helped. If you've got any case study questions at all, please get in touch. Just send me an email, kevin@thestoryedge.co.uk. And I want you just to, one last thing to make it really clear here. I've picked on the IT and tech sector, but it's not just the IT and tech sector. It's a common problem throughout. So please have a look again at your case studies. It'll make a big, big difference to them in the future. Thanks for watching. Now go away and tell some stories.